Hello everybody, I am Blade Crutchfield.
And I'm Isaac Cole.
Should I call you my fellow audience? Anyways, this is the Rabid Ones After Show for Season 2, Episode 3. This is our new after show place that we are at. And Isaac is here in place of Austin Pennington for the moment. Because, well, we have to have a guest. And if you've seen the episode, you obviously know that it is very Brandon heavy. So...
Is that a fat joke?
So this episode in itself was a very interesting episode because there's not a whole lot of people in it. It's a very Brandon heavy, by himself episode, him surviving on his own. That's the main point of it, and to show his progression of how he changed. He's a little bit weird. As you guys have seen through this episode, he has changed and went through a different, his mindset of how he's seeing things, and the Jessica-ness, the
facade is falling apart.
Yeah, and I don't know, he kind of at the very end kind of passed out, and I don't know how he's going to be whenever he wakes up.
Yeah.
But while we were filming this episode, there was a scene with Petey in Brandon's hallucination dream sequence where we were out in this grassland area, and it was by Austin's house, and Austin owns 2 dogs. Well, 3, right? Is it 3? We got 2 of them that were outside, and they wanted to be a part of the show so bad. We'll play that footage for you guys.
How many cuts did we have to do for that?
Maybe too many.
I'm home with me. Got my dog with me when I woke up. I love hallucinations. They're friendly. Okay, no. Lose the dog. It's alright.
The dog's a fan of Petey. Will Petey and the wolf bond?
I said get, not come. You guys are... I said get. Back. Get back. I push you away and then the other one comes. No. Back. Disperse. Terrible with people, good with animals. It's Brandon. Yeah, while they're fishing on his butt.
Very interesting takes those were. So Isaac, what did you take away from this episode?
Well, my favorite part was, it was definitely the bits with Jessica coming in as a hallucination and the quick jumpy edits that were done for her, and the way the voice was distorted.
Yeah, I found very creepy vibes from that one.
I love the creepy vibes.
She's haunting Brandon. I thought she liked him. Why is she haunting him, man? Let's bring in our guest for this episode. We like to bring in guests. We have our own guest couch. This is the announcer, host couch. Over here is the guest couch. So who better to talk than the main guy from the episode, Austin Pennington. Austin, we're gonna throw this camera over to you.
To you, Austin.
All right, thank you guys. I think Brandon in this episode, you see his change, and he has those hallucinations and everything. I think we see his mental state definitely declining. I think we're definitely going to see how Brandon takes this situation. It's going to be different than what it would have been prior to the killing of Jessica.
So, Austin, what do you feel was your favorite part of the episode?
My favorite part to film? Okay, definitely would have to have been the zombie scene with that zombie that came on top of me after I fell down the hill. I like that one the most. After Brandon fell down that hill and he encountered that zombie that almost bit him, I thought that was very... I know that the suspense was definitely up in that scene. I think that was a lot of fun to film, getting to be in the moment and just really come down it. Because we don't get to do these rabid ones very often, and I think whenever we get to go hand on hand with them and get to coincide in the same shot and just get to film it all, I think it's really, really interesting for me.
Okay. And what do you feel like the meaning for the hallucinations was?
The hallucinations. The hallucinations, I think, show a very strong representation of Brendan's mental state for sure. We see him talking to Petey, and then he's even fighting the rabid ones in his dreams. And so there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of confliction that we show in this, and we see how he is kind of like spiraling out of control. And also we also see in another scene where Brandon is walking and that tree cuts across the film, and then you see the blood in his eyes and he's puking, and you can see how like it's his mental state, like he's spiraling out of control, and you can kind of see how he's just torn down, he's weak, and he's frustrated. It just shows his emotional state. And then when we find him, when Ivy finds him there at the end of the episode, we see I don't know, you just kind of builds up to how he's going to act with this other group. We can see with the his mental state, like we're not sure how he's going to clash, whether or not he's going to have an aggressive type reaction to this girl, or maybe he's just going to go with them because he's too weak. But with his mental state, it's kind of hard to tell, and I think that's what really makes this episode interesting, is that we don't know which way he's going to go, and I think it leaves an open opportunity to a lot of things.
And how do you feel like Brandon is going to be going forward in the future? Like
Brandon, I think that after that other character found him, it really depends on the situation he gets put into. I'm kind of scared to see where he goes from here, because he's really unpredictable in this point in time. With Brandon, I think that if it does end up being another group, it's really going to depend on their structure as a group. I see Brandon teaming up with a group if he gets with them. I think I do, because as we saw in the hallucinations, we got to see Brandon be his mental state. You could see like how Petey in his hallucination there was talking to him, talking about leaving the group, and so you can kind of see that in the mental side of it, he kind of does miss his group. So I think that if he has the chance to connect up with another group, he might, but his intentions are definitely different in like what he will do in that group. And I actually see Brandon becoming more or less of a leader in this other group if he gets the chance to. I think he's going to more or less want to lead that group, or he might just leave them if they don't offer him that opportunity. But I think it's going to be interesting either way it takes on what Brandon does when he comes into contact with his next group. I think it'll be really interesting to see where it goes.
Okay, well, thanks for your input, Austin. It was
thanks for
nice having
starring in the episode.
you. Yeah, it was nice having you here. See you sometime next week.
On that note, we might as well take a look at scenes from next week's episode of The Rabid Ones. Take a look at this promo. Yeah!
I don't know where I am. Where am I at?
You gotta understand, there are only 3 of us left. We need the numbers. We're gonna die if we stay here. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that marks the end of our after show for the Rabid Ones Season 2, Episode 3. How do you say that?
Phantasmagoria? Phantasmagoria.
Yeah. Yes!
Latin?
I don't know. He's still here!
I haven't left yet.
Oh, he hasn't left yet. His limo has not left yet.
Alright, well, that's all, folks.
Good night.
Adios.
This is us. In reality. Oh god. Oh god, I can't see. I have one eye.
No blippers, remember?